This episode of FilmRiot is brought to you by Domain.com.
Today on FilmRiot, the GoPro Hero4 and GoPro Studio. Welcome to FilmRiot, the show that takes some mystery out of the effects and techniques going on some of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley, and before we jump into the episode, you may have seen the length on this one already. Yeah. Well, the reason for that is because we are working on something that we are very excited about and we're going to be releasing this summer. So for the next 2 months, to give us some time to make that as awesome as possible, we're going to be releasing FilmRiot episodes that are a bit shorter than usual. If you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, you probably already saw some stuff from the short film we just shot. That short is going to be a part of this whole thing that we're working on. And I'll give you guys more info once we start getting more things locked down. I'm not trying to be secretive and hold things from you. I just don't want to tell you something until it's set in stone. But now, onto some GoPro type things, which I've had the GoPro 4 for a while now and I've been loving it, and a lot of you guys have been asking my thoughts on it, so today we're gonna do that. But first, this email. Hey Rye, Josh is the worst. That's all.
That's not a real email.
That is a real email.
Wow.
He speaks the truth.
F you.
See? So here is my GoPro Hero4. This is the black edition, which can shoot up to 4K and go up to 120 frames per second and 1080p, which is awesome. This new version has a processor that is twice as good as the last one, which leads to a better image, of course. We have the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi stuffs as well, just like the last one, so we can connect to that GoPro app, which I can see a live view of what I'm filming. And this one does have a bit of lag like the last one, but nowhere near as bad as the last one. So I was actually able to frame my shots using this and even get some walking shots. Something I really love about this app is the ability to play clips back so I can check to see if I got the shot or not, and the ability to set everything up for the camera right in here, since I really hate adjusting settings using the camera buttons themselves. For resolution on this guy, it has a 4:3 sensor inside the camera, so when you shoot in regular mode, you're actually cropping in on the image to achieve that 16:9. Then you have super view mode. This squeezes the top and bottom down to fit a 16:9 frame. And finally, 4:3 mode, which is the full sensor. For frame size, you can shoot 4K at up to 30 frames per second, 2.7K at up to 50, and 1080 at 120.
Sunbeams dancing round your window, rainbows round your shoulders, not a cloud in view. Blue skies, lots of friendly people.
Then you have Protune, which the most important fact about Protune is the fact that it ups your bitrate, which of course leads to a better picture. So I always shoot with this on for that reason alone. But once you kick it on, you'll see that it opens up a bunch more options for you as well, like white balance selection, which I usually keep this at native. This has no white balance at all. It's neutral right off the camera sensor. Then color, which I always have on flat, same as flat profile on your DSLR or any other camera, just retaining as much info as possible to have more to work with in post. Next, we have ISO limit. Here we can set a ceiling for the ISO so it won't cross that, helping you keep from noisy footage. Then we have sharpness. I always keep this one set to low. I don't want the camera setting digital sharpness for me. I'd rather leave that for me to make decisions in post. It's just a much better end result that way. But that's it for the settings and the app. Now I'm good to get my filming on, and once I have a few shots I like, I can bring them into GoPro Studio for some tweaking. Inside here, you're gonna import your footage, review, then convert the ones that you wanna work with. Then we move over to edit. Here we can do basic assembly within the editing timeline. It's incredibly simplistic, but still nice to have, especially since it's free. So if you don't have the cash for an editor and you want to start toying around placing things together, this is a great way to start. But in here, we can select our clip and go into image to make some adjustments to our look, change our sharpening, dial in the white balance, and so on. Then if we click the video that we shot 120 frames per second with, we can go into video, drop the speed, which enables flux, which flux is basically something that's just smoothing out your motion so you can drop that speed even further without it getting choppy. Very similar to Twixtor, but without the ramping capabilities. To show you what I mean, here's a shot with flux, then that same shot slowed down the same amount, but this time without flux on. And just like Twixtor, you have to be careful how much you use it, or you're gonna start getting that nasty distortion, especially when there's detail behind the subject that's moving. But that is it for the Hero4 and the GoPro Studio. Now on to some sponsor goodness. Domain.com is the place to go if you're trying to get yourself on the internet, if you have a business, a portfolio of any kind. What?
You want gum?
No. Why? Are you saying I have bad breath?
No, just wondering.
They got the hosting service that's reliable and affordable. They got the domain discovery service to help you pick the right name for you. And if you use your coupon code FilmRiot,
sure you don't want gum?
Yes, at checkout you get 15% off your domain names and web hosting. When you think domain names,
You should
think
take some
domain.com.
Your breath smells. That's what I'm saying.
No, it doesn't. You can't even say, you're like 10 feet away from me.
Logo.
But that's it for today. For links to all the stuff that I showed, check out the notes section below. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitters right here. And again, for the next 2 months, we're going to be doing slightly shorter episodes to help us out while we're prepping for something really cool that we're releasing this summer that you guys are definitely going to love. And I'll see you guys next week when I find out that it won't kill me because I'm carrying the new queen.